Hey, pro wrestling fans, it's your buddy Mike Messier with a special thought. You know, fantasy booking, what would I do with the Dark Order of AEW? And I want to send this special shout out to my buddy Trilly Tuesday, a recording artist. He's a rapper, and he also runs the Wrestling Enthusiasts Facebook group, or at least I think he runs it. So here is the thought on this AEW Dark Order. They've kind of been doing the same thing for several months, and unfortunately their leader, Brody Lee, who everyone really seemed to love and admire, and from all accounts he was a great guy, once he passed away, they had that tribute show episode of AEW Dynamite, which was excellent, probably the best tribute show for a wrestler that's passed away ever. You know, you might think of Raw as Owen, but I kind of like this one better, maybe just because, you know, Brody did not pass away in the ring, unfortunately, like Owen did. But anyway, the momentum was so strong for these guys, for Dark Order at that time, and they've kind of just gone back to opening card, mid-card guys, filler guys. No offense to them, but there really hasn't been much momentum. And even you see them tweet a little bit or get in these things where people conjecture about a leader for the group, and it doesn't seem to happen, and they don't really want to replace a guy like Brody Lee, and I get that. And there's this subtopic of debate about his son, -1, being involved, and people have different opinions on that. And so here's my thought on how to clean up this whole mess. If you remember, Anna Jay, rookie or sophomore female wrestler, gorgeous woman, seems very athletic, very competent in the ring. She was like the only female member of the Dark Order, and she was kind of getting some notice. First of all, she's gorgeous. Second of all, she does seem like a good wrestler from all accounts. But she was in the Dark Order, and then Brody passed on, and then not too long after that, they started teaming up Tay Conti and Anna Jay together. I could be wrong, but it could have been for that women's tournament they had on AEW Dark or whatever. But Tay Conti and Anna Jay were a tag team, although Tay Conti was never announced as a member of the Dark Order, but she was kind of hanging out with Anna Jay and kind of an associate of the Dark Order on a much lesser scale at the time. Adam Page, you know, is kind of just floating around as kind of an associate, not committing one way or the other. So my point is, wouldn't it be interesting, and instead of trying to find another big tough guy to lead the Dark Order, or have a -1 be the official leader, or even Uno be the leader, which, you know, why not, while Anna Jay is injured, have this Tay Conti kind of evolve over a series of weeks? Like, her presence gets darker, she starts wearing darker mascara, kind of gets a little gothy, and wearing like kind of darker outfits, and you want to stay away from something where she looks too much like the Bunny character, but you want Tay Conti to have her own kind of look, but she's evolving into this dark, ravenous character, and suddenly she kind of emerges on this pedestal, literally or figuratively, as the leader of the Dark Order, to the point where the guys in the group start paying homage to her and start, you know, honoring her wishes and maybe doing run-ins on her behalf. The other thing is, you can keep this all away from the championship for whatever reason. You don't have to mix in Britt Baker or anything with that. Just keep Tay Conti on her own. Let Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa or whatever, and have maybe Tay Conti feud with Chris Statlander and the Friends group, the Best Friends. Just do something interesting. And while this is happening, the Dark Order is kind of turning from babyface to heel as a group, and -1, the kid, now this is going to get really interesting, test the kid's acting chops. The kid is getting depressed and sad because he's seen all his buddies in the Dark Order turn heel because of this girl, and they shoot a segment where -1 is going to the rehab center to visit Anna Jay, and he's in tears and he's crying, and he's maybe got his mother with him, and he's trying, you know, he's tearing up through the mask, and he's crying to Anna Jay as she's trying to fix her elbow or whatever's wrong with her. Hey, you know, there's something wrong with the guys. And she's like, what's wrong? Well, they're spending all this time with Tay Conti, and she's messing with their minds. And then as soon as he says Tay Conti, you camera pan to Anna Jay and her face turns aghast. And she's just shocked and repulsed. And then it's revealed in some type of segment or interview or skit that there's some type of past between these two women. They were in the same sorority in college and something bad happened with a ritual or something. So, or there's a man involved, you know, just something like that. Like you could kind of take that Beulah McGillicuddy, Tommy Dreamer, Raven storyline from 20 years ago and turn it inside out. And have that these Tay Conti and these Anna Jay have like this on again, off again friendship that there's some levels to it and layers. And then we get to the point where, you know, basically Anna Jay's in recovery. And meanwhile on Dynamite or Dark or whatever, Tay Conti is kind of pushing for -1 to get out of the group. Like she's getting the group to turn on the kid. And she's expelling the kid and kind of making the kid sit in the stands. And they can show the kid in the stands of AEW, like with tears rolling through his mask because he's no longer allowed at ringside. This is good stuff. And meanwhile, you know, the negative, the group, the Dark Order is turning heel. They're having better matches, more high-profile matches. Maybe if Miro ever loses that TNT title, maybe some guy in the Dark Order picks up the TNT title for a few weeks or a few months. But basically, they're just a more morbid, darker version. I mean, they're supposed to be the Dark Order, right? They're not supposed to be the babyface handshake order. They're the Dark Order. And you've got this chick, Tay Conti, who, according to Trilly Tuesday, is this Brazilian badass, jiu-jitsu, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. And they continue to kind of run roughshed. And, you know, granted that AEW is so overstocked with talent. I mean, you can't run too much roughshed without burying a bunch of other people. But they're doing their thing. And eventually we get to this climactic point where maybe, you know, Britt Baker loses the women's title to, say, Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa loses it back to Britt Baker. Britt Baker loses it to Statlander. And then Tay Conti beats Statlander for the women's title. And so now the centerpiece of this whole Dark Order thing is actually Tay Conti as the women's champion. And then you can emerge from the shadows, like Tay Conti's doing some promo where she's, you know, saying how great she is, and she's got this whole Dark Order in the ring, and they're all sequestered to her, and they're all on their knees paying homage. And then the music hits, blah, blah, blah. And little -1 is coming out of the aisle, coming out on the entrance, and he points behind him, and here's Anna Jay, and she's all healed. Her arm is healed. She's ready to fight. She's got a tear in her eye, but she comes to the fucking ring and she pushes aside all the Dark Order guys, and she gets right in Tay Conti's face. And then the Dark Order all looks around. They're very confused. They don't know what to do. And then one of them gives Anna Jay a forearm to the back, and she knocks her down, and they all beat the crap out of Anna Jay, and the little kid, -1, is crying hysterically. And then maybe they lift up Anna Jay, and they slap her around, and maybe they shave her head bald. And then they have a big match. You know, it's it's Tay Conti defending the AEW Women's World Title against the fully recovered, but now bald, Anna Jay. And look, she's young. The hair will grow back. I'm just spitballing. This is all from the top of my fucking head. Just to share with you some thoughts. And I've had thoughts about AEW before, and we all play fantasy fucking booker, and we all have our goddamned opinions, and I just thought I'd share mine just to be a nice guy. But, I mean, I don't want you to think that I don't care. I obviously do. I'm just trying to save the sport one fucking storyline at a time. Now, will any of this stuff actually happen? Probably not. They'll probably just continue to be lower mid-card guys who just wrestle matches and nothing ever happens exciting. But at least I did my goddamn part, and I suggested a storyline that runs a series of months. It has a thing for everybody. There's some drama, there's some action, there's some female revenge and feminine jealousies and all that good shit. And it gives these Dark Order people something to fucking do. instead of just taking up space every fucking Wednesday and whatever the fuck Friday. And so Mike Messier here with your wrestling fantasy booking report. Thought I'd share. If you like it, good. You can subscribe. I've got more wrestling rants. I've got the Bob Backlund interview. I've got all types of wonderful things. It's a nice hot summer day here where I am, and everything's, I'll show you this tree. So it's nice. You know, what can I tell you? Mike Messier, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, like, subscribe, watch all my shit. Wrestling Sun with Eliminator John Cronus, my sit down with Sandman with New Jack, Oxbaker, one of the boys. My non-wrestling stuff is quite good as well. The Impeccable, my award-winning film, Disregard the Vampire, Mike Messier documentary, and so on. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Buy my book, A Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. Mike Messier.